Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today I'm going to do part 6 to my Let's Play of Pokemon Shield for Nintendo Switch. Now guys, before we get into this video, there's actually two very real things. I'll say it again. There's two real quick things I want to go ahead and discuss with you guys. Something about Castle Crush, and something about Pokemon Shield itself. Just to be clear, guys, I'm gonna go and get through the Castle Crush announcement first. A fun little fact about this video is, or a fun little fact about today's session is, guys, I am missing the Storm mode of Castle Crush as I am saying this in this video. The Storm mode is on today, and I'm being my Pokemon babies. Guys, let me go and make this clear. As much as you don't watch this video, understand that my Pokemon are way more important to me than doing one day of a Storm mode. Like I said, maybe if I had an entire week to do it, maybe it wouldn't be as bad. Like, yeah, I could miss a day and do, like, the other game tomorrow, you know? But I want to go and make clear to you guys that in most cases, if I had to choose between Pokemon and Storm mode, especially now that I've been in the Storm mode for a good while, Pokemon would basically win out over that every time. Maybe next week or the week after, I'll do a video of the Storm mode. However, guys, I wanted to spend time with my Pokemon babies. And so, yeah, as I'm talking, there is legitimately no Storm mode going on, or there's a Storm mode going on right now, but again, I am not actually on it, or I'm not actually doing it. Well, here's the thing, I went ahead and did the Storm mode so I could actually win, or so I could go and get a victory on it and be able to get closer to a legendary card. I'm actually trying to unlock the Skull Queen right now, which is one of the last few troops I need to unlock in the legendary category. I got that one, and I believe the other one's called the Valor, or something like that. So, yeah. Right now, guys, I'm trying to unlock the Skull Queen. The one that says, "Fight for your queen!" So, yeah. Let me go ahead and make this clear to you guys. I know I've been doing Pokemon Shield a lot, but like I said, I love Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's considered to be one of my most favorite Pokemon games that's came out. And most of that could be thanked for Pokemon Camp. Pokemon Camp is the funnest thing in the entire game. I like battling in that game too, but getting to play with my Pokemon, let them walk around, talk to each other, and be able to cook for them, that makes me feel good. I love taking care of my Pokemon babies, and pulling Sword and Shield actually makes me feel like I can take care of them. And actually be able to give them affection and love other than just by them walking around. Something that I wish Brilliant Diamond would have kept. I would have played Pokemon Brilliant Diamond a lot more if they had Pokemon Camp. Getting Feralier and having Pokemon Camp, oh my gosh, that would have been the best thing in the entire universe. Unfortunately, unfortunately in Pokemon Sword and Shield, that's not possible. I wish it was possible to get him in the game, and it's not possible to pull in Camp in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. So, yeah. But I know you guys don't watch many of these videos, but please, for y'all that are listening in this far, please give this series a chance. I know it's not the best series. I know I've done over 45 parts to this series, to the other series, Pokemon Sword. But this series will have a lot more new Pokemon that you would never seen. Well, I say a lot more, guys. However, I got a very important announcement I got to make about Pokemon Shield. In a pre-series announcement video I made 2 days ago, whenever I last played Pokemon Shield, which I believe was about 2 days ago, I talked to you guys about my entire Pokemon team, correct? I said the point team I was planning on getting was the following Pokemon. I was gonna get Yamper, Boltund, Corviknight, then Flygon, Noibat, Centistorch, and either Goodra or Dragapult. Yes, guys, I realize it's 3 Dragon-type Pokemon again. However, I don't really use a lot of these Pokemon. Goodra, I've only used like 1 time. Dragapult, I've never used. Flygon, I've never used. And, Noibat, I believe I only used once. I do actually like Noibat, I just never had the chance to really use him. However, guys, let me go ahead and make a little bit of a rule to you. Or not a rule, but let me go ahead and tell you something very important. What's in that team again? What did I say my Fire-type Pokemon was going to be? What did I say I was going to try to have? I sent the Storage, correct? Well, I actually got something very important to tell you guys about. During one of the last few videos, I was inside of a Pokemon Center debating on whether I should get Charmander. Unfortunately, the only easy way I knew how I could get Charmander was to trade it from Pokemon Home, which I was actually planning on doing. However, when I looked it up last night, or when I looked it up during the video, I saw that if you transfer a Pokemon from Pokemon Home, they won't listen to you. It's like trading a Pokemon from another game, or it's like trading a Pokemon from another trainer. That's basically what it is. And, well, as you could, I was devastated by that. I don't know if you guys can actually tell, but I was very, very, very devastated. Actually, I don't even know if it was on camera or not, but a little rundown. I was thinking about getting Charmander. I was thinking about transferring him from Pokemon Home, and then was well, I was going to think of transferring from Pokemon Home, so I decided to look it up and see if your opponent could disobey you from that. And unfortunately, from what I looked up, yes. Which means if I was to get Charmander through that method, I would have to worry. He would disobey me, and he wouldn't like me until I got a bunch of gym badges. So I was actually very upset about that, because the thing about it is, guys, remember, I actually do love Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. I would love to try the Firebug, but remember, guys, my anxiety or my phobia of bugs screws that over. Any chance the bug would have gets screwed over by all that bull crap. So, yeah. Basically, like I said, guys, I couldn't transfer him from Pokemon Home, unless I wanted him to disobey me. However, I did find out something actually pretty important. If I go... Well, let me go ahead and explain, guys. I think this was on video when this happened, because I did tell you guys something. I was planning on looking up that day what Pokemon, or if I could get Charmander before the post-game. You guys may wonder, did I do that? The answer is yes. And guys, there is a possibility of me getting a Charmander without Pokemon Home, without having to wait for Pokemon, or waiting for the post game. I can get me a flippin' Charmander early. And guess what? As much as you guys may not like this, I went ahead and caught me a Charmander. It would be kind of annoying to actually pull this off anyway, guys. It's not very complicated, but it's very hard to pull off with your Pokemon at a pretty low level. I'm actually going to give you a real quick rundown of how I got this Charmander. So I'm going to give you a heads up. I do have a Charmander on my team now. And I'll have to be taking care of him in Pokemon Camp as well. And yes, he is male. His name is Blaze. So... everybody that's watching this video, say hello to the little Charmander when we see him, okay? Be nice to him. But I want to go and give you a real quick rundown how I got Blaze. It's not very complicated, but it is going to take you a good while if you don't have much watts. Basically, guys, what you have to do is you have to start off by doing... Well, not, let me go and say this. For this method to easily get a Charmander, you have to do 2 things. Actually, you have to do 3 things before you can even head over to the right den where you can find him. And this is also how you can get a Sizzlipede early if you want to get him before Route 3. You can actually get him in the wild area. Although, just like with Charmander, it's very dangerous to do so. There's two things you have to do. There's three. I keep saying that wrong. There's three things you have to do before you can even go to the place where you can find Charmander. Two of them have to do with your settings. Number one, whenever you go in, before you start going ahead and looking for everything, you need to first off get rated. You don't have to necessarily do this right now. However, when you get to the den where you find Charmander, turn your text speed to slow and turn your autosave off. That way you have a chance of this working. Now, what you have to do, first off, and this is one of the hardest things you have to do, and if you ain't been collecting these watts, it's important. You need to get 3,000 watts so that you can go over to one of the dudes that sell you TMs or TRs and go ahead and buy one from them. That will give you a wishing piece, but you need to have 3,000 watts to do that. Whenever I did this, I already had 6,000 watts somehow. So I had enough watts to be able to buy 2 wishing pieces. Basically, guys, you go buy a wishing piece. Then, in order to get to the place where you have to get Charmander, you have to go across the bridge. The bridge that leads over to the secondary area, like the Dusty Bowl and the Hammerlock area. You have to go down there early. I'm going to give you a warning right now, guys. You have to be very careful in there because the Pokemon are so high leveled. So if you have been overtraining your Pokemon or can't avoid everything, it's recommended that you either overtrain or save before you start going into there. You guys will not believe how much saving I had to do to make sure my Pokemon did not die. Because of how high level the Pokemon were over there. It's kind of hard to get over there to where Charmander is. But after buying the watts, you have to go across the bridge. The one, again, that leads over to the secondary area. Like the one that leads over to Hammerlock. The Hammerlock area. You have to go there, avoiding Pokemon as you do. You can collect the berries in the trees. There are berry trees down there which you can collect, which I did. Basically, guys, there's this little den. Well, first off, you go to over to the Hammerlock Castle area. You know the place you enter to get to Hammerlock, the actual Hammerlock town or city or whatever it is. Well, you have to go there. The one where that one dude's blocking the way saying you need so many gym badges to get in there. Well, you need to go there. But instead of trying to go into Hammerlock, there is a few Dynamax dens around that area. And straight across from where the door that leads to Hammerlock. You guys know the dragon mouth that you see? You know how the doors kind of shaped like a dragon's mouth? It's straight ahead from that, around straight ahead. You'll see this one Dynamax den that obviously is not going to be active since you can't even get over there yet. But the Dynamax den is not active. So you have to take the wishing piece. Well, let me go and tell you. The Dynamax den is next to a rock. There's a single rock next to a ledge, and right beside that rock is the Dynamax den. This is around the place where you have to start like I said earlier, you don't have to turn the text speed to slow right off the bat. However, before you start looking for Charmander, it's actually very necessary that you do so. And remember, guys, I'm going based on what the YouTuber said that I want. I'll have to try finding his channel so I can actually credit him, so I can give a little shout out to him. That way you got. I'm not trying to steal his content. I'm just trying to give y'all a little rundown. After turning the settings, after turning the text speed to slow, and turning the autosave off, you have to use that wishing piece. Now, here's the part where you have to be very careful. After you say yes to using the wishing piece, you have to stop for a second. Because it'll ask you, do you want to save the game? It'll ask you that. And before you... Let me go and give you a warning, guys. You have to be kind of quick here. And I think it slows it down if you turn text speed to slow. I don't really necessarily know. I guess that's why it's easier to turn the text speed to slow, because it'll make it saving it a little bit slower. After using the wishing piece, you have to get ready to actually save the game. However, instead of saving, you gotta keep an eye on the beam that shoots out of the den after using the wishing piece. Because in order to get Charmander to show up, you have to get a purple rare beam. I don't think Charmander can spawn the other one. That's what the dude on YouTube said. You have to get it on a rare purple beam. If you don't get that, real quickly, close out the game right before it saves, and then close out the entire software. Reopen it, and then, if you saved before you put the wishing piece in there, you'll be put back at that spot. Keep doing the process of putting the wishing piece in there and looking for a purple beam until you get it. Then you go through the process of actually finding the Charmander. So if the purple beam did not spawn a Charmander immediately, you have to go out the game, don't close the software completely, but suspend the software by pressing the home button. Then, instead of closing it out, go to Settings, System Settings, Date and Time, and then move the day 1 day forward. And that will... Well, let me go and make this clear real quick. I forgot about this part. Before you suspend the software and do all that, make sure you click Wait for Others on the Dynamax thing. If you do this correctly, it'll trick the game into thinking you've been waiting that long and moving extra day. So you can legitimately get extra watts and then another chance at that Dynamax spot. You keep doing that until Charmander shows up. Then you capture him. Let me give you a little bit of a summary real quick, guys. I'm gonna make it a little bit less complicated. Get 3,000 watts, buy a wishing piece. Be careful and go across the bridge over to the Hammerlock Hills area, around the place where that castle that leads over the Hammerlock is. Go across from the castle until you see a den that's next to a rock. Throw in your wishing piece. Well, before you throw in your wishing piece, save the game and make sure your text speed's on slow and your autosave is off. Do that, and then throw in your wishing piece, and right before you save, or right after you click yes to saving, remember to look at what color the beam is. If it's red, restart, close the software, and reopen it before the game saves. If it is purple, then see what Pokemon it is. If it's not Charmander, go to the home menu, System Settings, well, the Settings area, and in System Settings, Date and Time, and then move the day 1 day forward. Keep doing that until Charmander shows up, capture him, and then you got Charmander before the post game, and you want to trade it from Pokemon Home. So, yeah, you can legit have a Charmander that early. So, yeah. Let me go and give credit. Let me see if I can find a YouTuber real quick. It shouldn't take me that long. I want to real quick try to find a YouTuber. I know I looked it up the other day. Well, if I can find it, man. Here we go. I think this is it right here. Yep, this is it. I'm going to give credit to him. A little bit of a shout out goes to the person that helped me get this by watching his video. If you want to see how you easily get Charmander by the way I told you, go to Nicko Finno's channel. Nicko Finno's. Nicko Finno. That's how you spell it. please go to his channel. The video is called How to Get Charmander Early in the first 90 minutes of Pokemon Sword and Shield. You can, like I said, you can also get Sizzlipede this way. So if you want Sizzlipede instead of Charmander, there you go. There's an easy way to get him without having to wait till Route 3. So, yeah. But that's okay. Anyway, guys, that's all I actually gotta make for this video. This was gonna be part 6, guys. However, it's already kind of late. I do want to go, I'll have to remake another video. I'm doing this very early, not very early, but I'm doing this earlier than what I've been doing the last few videos. Right now, as I'm talking, it's only 12:18. So, it actually is not that late. It's a little bit late, but I'm trying to make sure I don't get tired. I've got a lot of work to do today, guys. I got Charmander. However, I still want to show you him Dynamaxed. So I'm going to try finding him about to doing the Dynamax den. Then, I got to take care of him and Trapinch. And then after I do that, I got to go around getting berries and a bunch of other things as well. TRs and all that stuff. And then on top of that, I have to go look for me a Noibat. I did buy 2 wishing pieces, so I have a chance of maybe getting myself a Noibat way easier. However, I don't remember if the bean has to be purple or not, and that's going to be a little bit of an issue for me. I did find Noibat while I was on the other side of the bridge. However, he's too strong to capture. It literally genuinely said a super strong Noibat has appeared, which means I couldn't even capture the Pokemon even if I weakened it down. It wouldn't let me. So unfortunately, I couldn't get Noibat that way. However, hopefully I can get it another way. This was originally going to be part 6, guys. However, I'll be right back. Honestly, I got a lot of work to do today, so I can't waste too much time. I'll see you in a few minutes while I do the actual part. See you in a minute.